Good morning, everybody. This is Pastor Rick, Broadman Baptist Church. And today is the Broadman Word for September 6, 2023. We are just whipping through 2023. And so it is a beautiful day. And as always, I hope you're enjoying your day in the Lord, living by His grace, realizing that everything is provided to you through His grace, and including your salvation. What amazing things we need to keep a hold of and not lose sight of. That truly God was the originator, provider, and sustainer of everything. And I wanted to talk to you today. The subject is God's design, and share a couple of fascinating things from nature for you, and just ask the question, how could this possibly be random? How can this just happen if somebody didn't design it to happen? Another question to ponder is our ability to mimic some things in nature. And then we'll have some closing thoughts. I want to start off with you with a fascinating story about a bird, a European honey buzzard of all things. It is a medium to large sized bird, and is studied like much wildlife is. And this particular bird was fitted with a GPS satellite tracker to see how it's been its days and what we could learn about it. The fascinating thing is that this bird spent most of its time in this place called Reets, South Africa. And it was a very welcome bird. People saw it every once in a while. And but seasons changed, and it is a migratory bird, so it was time for it to leave. And of course, the GPS tracker was going to capture the trip. An amazing thing, right? And so this bird, which was originally started to be studied in Finland, where assumably it was born. So this bird happens to be a girl. She starts headed north on an incredibly precise longitudinal line, and follows it from the Free State of South Africa all the way up until where it approaches this large, gets within a reasonable distance of this large body of water, an ocean. And it, at that point, deviates its path, actually in the country of Sudan, where the Nile either starts or ends, depending upon how you think about it. And so this bird instead knew to follow the Nile through Sudan, Egypt, Syria, Turkey, and then parts of the Mediterranean, circumnavigating that huge ocean, but still following the Nile. And then, as soon as she was clear of the ocean, went right back, made a left turn, right back to the exact longitudinal line that she was following when she first left South Africa. And she eventually followed that longitudinal line all the way to Finland, and the trip only took her 42 days. It was about 6,214 miles. She covered 143 miles a day, never taking a day off. She did it for 42 days. So what an amazing statement of nature for this bird to have that kind of capability, and just the sheer navigation, to know that it was a long way across that ocean, and she probably, as strong as she was, probably couldn't make it. So then to deviate around it, but then go right back to her exact path when it was appropriate to do so. That's just incredible. stuff. How can anybody think that a creature like that just did that randomly? That sort of navigation capability, that kind of reasoning, is just something natural or random? It just happened. I think you and I know differently. And there's another bird called a swift. They're incredibly fast, up to 90 miles an hour. They can also fly very slow. They can hover. They can do all kinds of things. So they're fascinating to scientists. And so one researcher attempted to build a drone that could mimic the flight capabilities of a swift. Now, the swift can fold their wings, they can twist, they can open slots in their feathers to either bleed off energy or save energy. And it is a study in aerodynamics, the wing of a swift, and all that they can do. So they set out to build this thing called an ornithopter drone that would mimic what a swift can do. And after millions of dollars and years of production, they ended up with one. But the scientists estimate that all of their efforts, all of their money, all of the time that was put into this research project, they were only able to replicate about 10% of the Swift's capabilities. So, and again, all of our advanced knowledge, all of our technology, all of our, mass of capabilities that the human species has developed can't even match 10% of something that a simple bird could do. And the reason is that the bird was designed by God, and while we were also designed by God, we have some limitations that God does not have. God can make a swift, we can't. So the idea is that God founded the world. He founded the world and everything in it. And there are endless wonders, endless amount of amazement at what certain creatures can do. And it can really teach us a lot about God and just how exactly capable God is. So we need to be aware of our natural surroundings and what it can do, because it can inspire faith in us to look at all of the creation and look at all that everything can do and just be in wonder and awe and amazement at the massiveness of our God. The Bible tells us that God founded the world by his wisdom. That was from Jeremiah 10:12. And that at the end of each step in the creation process, God stopped for a second and determined that what he had done was good. And the same God then who created birds to fly above the earth, across the vaults of the sky, is the same God who enabled us to love and to worship him and to spread that love and worship to others that we know. You see, it's not that God didn't give humans some incredible capabilities. We are fascinating creatures in ourselves. And just look at how many things, how far we have stretched human ability with our knowledge of physiology and training and on. People are running faster, jumping higher, living longer, on and on and on. Well, the God who gave us that capability is the same God who designed the European honey buzzard and the swift, and it's the same God that founded the world and everything in it. So we need to be able to take a look and just simply be in awe and wonder at all that God is, and let that be an additional source of hope and faith for us. Because if he can do all of these things, then he can certainly keep his promises to you and I. Listen, I love you. I hope you have a marvelous day in the world. In the Lord. Take care. I'll see you next time.